when we try to understand through our intellect, what we are using are concepts. And the conceptual framework might be different for a different person, but the reality to which that concepts are being leading to, that reality is one and the same. For instance now, if I want to point out to some particular star and I'm trying to help a friend locate it, I can point at the star through my finger, I can take a laser beam and try to point it that side, I can take a stick. There are many different ways I can do that, but I'm pointing at the same reality. Exactly in the same way, the dualist, the Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita and Advaita, they use a different framework. But these are concepts, but concepts pointing at the same reality. So the Brahman of Dvaita and Vishishtadvaita is not different. Just the conceptual framework is different. Okay?
Short and sweet, please. Pranam Shalda Maharaj, thanks for the insightful session. I am Niranjan. My question is to Swami Dhyananda Maharaj. If the difference between all the schools of thoughts is only an expression and not necessarily without any order, to say like one is higher than the other, then why is that not prescribed in that manner by the authors of the schools of thoughts? The other question is like, can we follow all the three schools of thoughts? Because it's just an expression, it can change from one day to other day. And my last one is to say, why should we spend so much energy worrying about the relationship between the individual and the God? Because at the end of the day, it is just an expression. Thank you.
The relationship between the individual and Brahman, that relationship is not an expression. But discovering that relationship is important, because unless and until I discover the nature of that relationship, the suffering that we experience, not just the physical and mental suffering of daily life, the existential suffering, suffering associated with my very existence as a limited human or living being, that suffering cannot go unless and until I know the nature of my relationship with the divine. Now, the difference between the experience and expression is simply this. When we express something, we can talk in terms of dualism, non-dualism and so on. But the experience itself is neither non-dualistic or dualistic or anything. Experience is just an experience. We can now, when we are intellectualizing it, thinking about it, trying to describe it, we can speak about God being personal or impersonal, with form or without form. But when we experience the presence of God, that experience itself is neither personal nor impersonal, neither with form nor without form. That experience cannot be put into words. The moment you put into words, you have already distorted it. But words are necessary because that's all that we have. So until we get that experience, we have to make the best use of the words that we have and somehow find a way to go beyond words, beyond language, because experience transcends everything.
Thank you.
Thank you for an excellent discourses. I don't have a question, just wanted to say something that one of the saints, that Santa Tukaram from Maharashtra, the other one is Santa Ishwar, who wrote wonderful commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And his older brother, who was a realized soul, he asked him to write about his experience. So he wrote Jnaneshwari. That's all, thank you.
Oh yeah, I have just taken representative sages and saints. There was Namdev, and then so many of them were there. So Samartha Ramdas was there. He, like his message, if you see in the light of Swamiji, it's like Swamiji is kind of copying him. So I just took representative this figureheads.
Thank you. Over there.
My name is Sudhir. I just wanted to ask, did all of these acharyas had the experiential knowledge of all the disciplines, or they had one vision of one understanding, and then they were so carried away with it, they just explained it to us in that understanding. But did they experience the other, not theoretically, but actually experientially?
Of course, as it was mentioned, the very word Acharya itself is not to be taken lightly. There is a profound meaning, and these people who are truly great, and in their traditions they are considered as incarnations. Now, they had an experience, and as it was in the talk, I think it was Jagadanji says that the expression, the language, it has a limitation. The experience goes beyond the mind. And for the mind, which is now molded through language, through culture, through all these things, it somehow tries to encapsulate it. And that's why you say, whether these acharyas had 1, 2, 3 experiences, and no, they just had an experience. And that's what they wrote about it.
All right. The last question. Subir, our revered chairman, says that we have got one last question, so I'm walking up to you. Keep it short.
Swamiji, one question here. As far as I am concerned, I know that Advaita Vedanta started much before Shankara. Shankara only made it popular, but he did not create the Advaita Vedanta. Number one. Number two, Vedavyasa, was it Advaita or not? Third, we are gathered here for the next 3 days. I would like to ask that we have 16 Swamijis are there. Can they give me some idea what is right? Is the Advaita is right?
Oh, no one's right. Everything is right.
There are decisions. Vishishtha Advaita is right? Advaita. Some indication, some way. All the Swamijis come and down. And you are here. Give us some guidance. By third day, at least I know what is the Vedanta is.
Okay. Thank you.
Essentially, you want to know who wins. I think a more practical way to approach this is for every one of us to look in our own heart and ask by ourselves, at this point of my life, at this stage of my evolution, how do I think about God? It doesn't matter what Madhva thought or Ramanuja thought. That's what they thought. They wrote about it. We are thinking about it. We'll keep on talking about it. But ultimately, every one of us has to look in our own heart and say, right now, what is my idea of God? What is my idea of myself? How I am connected with God? And some answer will come. It could be a stupidest answer, but it's still my answer. That's my experience right now. Hold on to that experience. Don't be under the impression that that's the final answer. But that's an authentic answer because that's what you're experiencing now. But keep on probing. Don't give up. Follow the teachings of these great ones. And then your own answer that you have now will begin to get refined on its own. Your own answer will change with time. So don't worry about who is right. If we look inside and find whether I am right, my life is authentic. So ultimately, for every one of us, we want to be on the right path. We want to follow truth. So all these discussions about Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita are useful, but ultimately don't get caught up in these labels. We don't have to fit into any of these pigeonholes. We just have to be authentic. And I think that's the message which I would feel personally would be more helpful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Without complete violation.
Only question, it's just a one-liner. Thanks for the spiritual feast. This is a question for Swami Sarvapriyananda.
No question for him today. No question.
So you want me to save it for tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Okay.
So, thank you.